Yo, what's going on, guys? So over the past year or two, I've been getting tons of DMs and comments over on my Instagram pertaining to custom modifications and aftermarket parts I got on my bike here. So here it is, long overdue, my full build breakdown on my fully custom 2019 CRF450L. Alright guys, well here's the bike. So I'm in my garage right now. We've had bad weather the last few days, so mind the mess. This is my little bike workshop and I'm always tearing bikes down here, so it gets pretty dirty. But if you keep an eye on the bottom right hand corner of your screen, I'm gonna do a full price breakdown of this full build for you guys. And I'm a little nervous to see that number myself because I've been building this bike for over 2 years now. And honestly, I don't even know what the number is. This bike's seen so many different phases, so many different parts, so many different custom things on it. It's hard to really say. I do want to preface that number by saying I have received a decent amount of the parts on this bike, either through free sponsorships or really good discounts. I have paid for a good majority of them, but keep that in mind. Also, quick plug to my sponsors, CRF450L.com. If you guys are looking for any Honda parts, for whether it's your dirt bike or your Supermoto, guys, they literally have you covered with any parts you need. A good majority of these parts are from CRF450L.com, and honestly, they're the only place I shop for my Hondas, as well as Bach 3D there. They hooked me up, guys, with all kinds of nice protection for my bike. If you guys need any protection for your Supermoto, plate brackets, or any kind of custom parts like that, definitely hit up Bach 3D. They got you covered on that end. All right, so we're gonna start from the front of the bike and just work our way back. I think that'll be the easiest way to do it. I'm also gonna go over what parts are aftermarket, what parts are modified, because I've changed a lot out. And if you guys have any questions throughout this video, drop a comment down below or DM me on Instagram. I try to respond to every DM I get. All right, so it's front of the bike here for my wheels. I'm running the Warp 9 Elites. They are all black with red hubs, 17-inch front and back of the bike here. On the wheels themselves, I'm running the Bold Designs 50/50 vinyl graphics in chrome red. These things are amazing. They adhere nice. If you guys want to do 50/50s, definitely check out the Bold Design 50/50 graphics. For my tires, I like to change my tires up a lot. I like a good sticky performance tire that I can take corners on, as well as, you know, do stunts and mess around. So on the front here, we're running the Dunlop Q5S's, and I had these on the front and rear, but I'm switching to a new set of tires, so we'll get to that whenever I get to the back. And a lot of you guys asked about the size too, so let's see. I'm running a 110, 70, 17. All right, guys, we're gonna go over the brakes whenever I flip the bike around. There's a lot of parts on the other side of the bike too, so we're gonna do an overview of both sides. But as far as this side, running the Bach 3D stubby axle sliders, Race Tech titanium, blue titanium clamp bolts. We got the Zeta Racing red aluminum fork shroud bolts down here. Bold Designs graphics here, and these are custom cut to fit Supermoto wheels. Going up from there, I got the CMT carbon fork guards, and above that, CMT doesn't cover a top set of carbon fork guards. So these are off-brand JFG Racing carbon fork guards. They match really well and they're custom cut to fit. Down from there, I'm running the Street OHV mini turn signals. I also have a set of X-Trig triple clamps. I got these used for a really good deal, so they're a little beat up, but they do good. They look good from a distance. So I did new decals on there, as well as replaced all the hardware on there with Race Tech titanium, blue titanium bolts. Moving on from there, guys, we have a stock 450L fender. To me, whenever I'm building a Supermoto, I love the way a regular dirt bike fender looks. Some guys like the Supermoto fenders, but personally, I like the stock dirt bike fender. So I just got the Bold Designs graphics on there. Moving up from there, we have the CRF450R front number plate. This is a fully custom conversion here. A lot of people ask about this. It looks really good, but I had to do a lot of custom wiring to the wiring loom back there. Had to chop off a lot of unnecessary stuff and kind of rewire a lot of stuff myself, but it did turn out good. This is off a 2019 CRF450R, if you're wondering. All right, guys, up from the number plate, we got my bars set up. So for the bars themselves, I'm running the ODI oversized RC4 bars. These are Carmichael bend. One of my favorite bars. These are great bars on this bike. They feel amazing. On the end here, we got Bach 3D bar end sliders. And the thing I like about these over other bar end sliders I've had is these have a little bit of grip on them. I like to grip my bars real wide, kind of something like this. I don't know why, it's just something I've always done whenever I've been riding. So it's nice having that extra little grip there. ODI lock-on grips. I always just run plain black non-waffle grips. These ones are actually getting a little worn out. Probably time for a new set. And from there, stock throttle, just have some titanium bolts in there. Just had some extra ones laying around. Stock start and kill switch, Street OHV mini mirror. And then on the front here, my brake master, I'm actually running the stock CRF450L master cylinder. Now, I used to have a Brembo setup. I had a 4-piston brake in the front. And it was really nice, but I had a lot of complications with it. And to me, it just wasn't worth the problems that it gave me, so I went back to the stock setup. I think in the future, I'd like to do a Moto Master setup, but for now, this is doing me just fine. So on that master cylinder, I'm just running a red JFG Racing cap and a little mirror block-off plug. It is starting to turn a little pink. It's been on the bike for probably 3 years now. Brake line, stainless steel golfer brake line. I like to just run the clear stainless with a red banjo bolt, red fitting underneath there. I'm running ODI stock bar pad with the Bold Designs graphic, which matches my kit on there. Looks super sick. Underneath there, also X-Trig oversized bar clamps. And the whole X-Trig triple trees, I did Racetech titanium bolts on it as well. Up front here, I got a lot of questions about this light bar setup. So this is by a company called Innoviz, and this is a 6-inch pit bike light bar. It's actually center mounted, so it mounts underneath my bar pad. I had to cut the bar pad a little bit, but it swivels too, so like if I need to run like a high beam, or I usually angle it at the ground because it is really bright. Now over here on this side of the bar, that's where it gets a little more interesting. We got the Tusk slim switch. This is how I control all the lights on my bike, whether it's turn signals, turn my lights on and off, all that stuff. I don't have a horn on the bike, but if you're running a handbrake or you got a lot going on your bars, this is a great switch to run because it's small. And I know the 450L comes with like this massive switch on there, stock. For my clutch setup, this is by a company called One Finger. That's the company right there. But this is their 2-finger clutch setup. And this is an easy pull lever. But like I said, I grip my bars wide, so I 1-finger it out here. And then underneath that, we have a Brembo RCS14 Master for my handbrake. Works real good, 15C Master reservoir there. And underneath that, let's get a better angle here, black 80-inch HLE brake line for the handbrake. And that has, well, you can't see it, but red fittings on that as well. All right, guys, I'm trying to remember all the mods on this bike because I've done so much. It's kind of hard to not miss anything, but we're going to move back from the bars, look at my gas tank setup because I get tons of questions about this too. So this is a 2019 CRF450R gas tank, and you have to do, it kind of bolts up. You have to make a little bracket up here and stuff. I can make a separate video on it, or if you have any questions, you want to do this conversion yourself, get at me on my Instagram. So while I had the tank off the bike, I blued it out with a torch, gave it that nice rainbow titanium colors underneath both sides. And then this is a carbon cover from Pro Carbon, and I actually custom cut it myself. I cut the windows in it. And that way you could see the titanium tank underneath. And I think it turned out pretty good. Above that too, we're just running a, let's see if I can turn that, free flow line. I used to have one of them little dongles, but it was clogging the bike up for some reason. It wasn't bleeding off the gas pressure, so I switched to one of these and I haven't had a problem yet. Moving down from the tank, Tusk, temp gauge down there. Since I don't have a dash anymore, no speedometer, I don't have any of the, you know, the high temperature warning lights or any of that stuff anymore, so it's really nice to keep an eye on my my temps there. The rads and everything are all stock. I've tried some different radiator guards and braces and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's a Supermoto, so I went back to just the stock black radiator louvers there. Moving to my shrouds though, we have 2019 CRF450R shrouds. If you do want to do the R tank, you need to do the R shrouds as well. Bold Designs graphics on there, red chrome over holographic glitter. Super sick, fully custom kit by Bold. If you need Supermoto graphics, guys, Bold is where it's at. As well as we have the Zeta red aluminum bolt kit over the full bike. Guys, moving down to the motor side of the bike here, if you kind of see underneath my seat there, we have a Vortex ECU on the bike. That's a game changer for these 450Ls. If you don't have one, get one of those ASAP. They really wake this bike up. We also have a San Diego Powerhouse thermostat delete, as well as a full emissions delete on this bike. We did polished frame, and then these are Polysport black frame guards. They're from a 450R as well. They don't fit 100%, require a little bit of cutting, but they work good enough for me. Hinson clutch cover, still on the stock clutch in this bike. Yoshimura header pipe with a CMT carbon heat shield there. All right, so moving down, I'm still on the stock foot brake lever. It feels really nice and it works. I like it. My thought was I don't want to change it if it works, so I'm gonna wait till I break or bend it and I'll get an aftermarket one. But from there, we're running the Warp 9 oversized MX pegs with their sliders on the bottom. And I'll show you on the other side, guys, if you ever loop your bike, these save your foot pegs, really nice. Or if you happen to be a beast on the twisties and you're dragging foot peg, those also work. From there, stock skid plate. I've had some aftermarket ones, some aluminum ones. If you're riding on the road, guys, you really don't need a skid plate, but for me, it's more of a looks thing. So the stock skid plate does good. All the aluminum ones I had rattled, so I stuck with that. Also, don't look at the dents. Surprisingly, before I turned this bike into a Supermoto, I used to ride it in the woods and it used to get pretty beat. Moving back here to my number plates, these are stock 450L, airbox shroud and your number plate there, just with the Bold Designs graphics on there. As well as the Yoshimura RS4 pipe with the carbon tip. It's got some new decals on there. I get a lot of questions about this too. This is a Warp 9 exhaust slider. So it saves your exhaust if you ever drop the bike on that side. Definitely worth it. Well, I'm up here too. I'm also running the stock seat with a gut seat cover on there. I've had the seat concepts. Personally, I like the stock one the best. I know that's kind of crazy to say. A lot of people hate it. 450R rear fender. This is custom cut to fit, as well as street OHV mini signals. And then a lot of people ask what this hole is. This is actually a custom subframe under here for doing wheelies and stuff like that. My boy Johnny Baloney made that. If he's watching this video, he'll know who he is. On there, I just got a little bit of that stunt grip. Gives me extra grip on my foot. This bolt back here, there's nothing there at the moment, but that's actually the bolt I use to put a titanium block on the back if I'm trying to go for scrapes or anything like that. I'm no king. I can't really scrape, but if I'm ever feeling confident, we'll throw the scrape block on there. All right, guys, while I'm here, I might as well show you my taillight setup. So underneath here, tucked away, I have the Street OHV mini taillight in clear. And that is on a custom-made bracket I made myself to make it fit. And it's really bright, works really good. Don't worry about these cuts down here. Don't even look at that. All this black stuff's just rubber from doing burnouts. Don't worry about that. Down here, we're running CMT carbon flap with just some Bold Design stickers there. Moving to the swing arm and rear wheel setup here. On my Master, just a red JFG Racing cap there. Golfer stainless foot brake line with the red fitting and the red banjo bolt, as well as the HLE 80-inch black foot brake line. Coming to the back here, just a stock 450L brake caliper. This is a TCTC handbrake caliper from a company called 50 Stunt, as well as 50 Stunt's dual caliper bracket. As for pads, I run pretty aggressive pads in all my brakes. So I think these are Moto Master pads, pretty much all the calipers, except for this caliper is just running 50 Stunt pads. As for the rotor, this is just a stock Warp 9 rotor. I change my brakes up pretty often, experiment with different setups. So I've had Moto Master rotors, I've had Golfer rotors. Right now I'm just running this because these Warp 9 wheels are actually brand new. I've been running them for like a month or two. So I just stuck with their stock brake setup they gave me on there. I also have titanium bolts on the rotors as well. Like I said before, Warp 9 rear wheels, Bold Design 50/50s. Now on the back here, we're actually running the Michelin Power 6 tire. At the moment, this is my favorite tire, so I'm actually gonna run this on the front and the rear here soon. I was just kind of waiting to wear that Dunlop out. People ask about the size on this too. 150, 60, 17 there on the back for the tire. And I do a lot of burnouts and like to ride this bike hard, so this tire's been lasting pretty good. All right, so this is something I get asked about a lot here, my swing arm covers. So these are actually CMT carbon swing arm covers. Now they don't make a set of these for the 450L, so I bought 2019 CRF450R covers. I usually don't recommend you guys getting these just because they're gonna run you like 150 to 180. I don't remember the exact price. But the reason I would say not to get them is because they do not fit at all. The 450R has a completely different swing arm than this bike, so it's gonna require you to do a lot of cutting, a lot of modifications. So if that's something you're not comfortable with doing, just keep that in mind. Bold Designs decal there on the swing arm as well as the Bach 3D axle sliders on the back. All right, guys, so I flipped the bike around to the other side here. Just got it leaned up against the wall so you can get a better view here. We're gonna check out my front brake setup. This is the Warp 9 oversized floating rotor on the front. as well as their bracket. Like I said, the stock caliper, the red fittings. I'm also running titanium bolts up here, as well as the titanium caliper bolts down here from Racetech Titanium. For this side, guys, the bike's pretty much the same as the other side, so there's not much to show you. We just have the Zeta chain guard, the Zeta chain guide down here. I always run the DID EVRT chains. I've been through like 3 of them. Best chain I've ran. I change up my sprockets a good bit. I run different sizes, different brands. Currently on a 50 tooth Warp 9 sprocket with titanium bolts on it as well. If we move up, stock kickstand, I just vinyl wrapped it black. Zeta case saver down here. And yeah, I think that's about it for my build. I do want to show you guys this. We're running the Pro Taper wireless hour meter, and I just want to show you guys how many hours this bike has. 384 all original hours, never opened a motor, only done oil changes. That's why I love Hondas, guys. This is unheard of when it comes to building a Supermoto or a dirt bike. These are just crazy hours. All right, guys, well, that's the full video. If you guys, like I said, if you guys have any questions of anything on the build, DM me on Instagram, comment down below. I'll try to get back to everybody that I can. And if you guys have any recommendations for videos in the future, drop them down below. I'm interested to hear. I like to experiment a little bit more with this YouTube stuff. So, and always, guys, thanks for all the support over on Instagram and over here on YouTube. You guys have been crazy over there on Instagram, and I appreciate everything. So.
Following the light that sets me free.